What's up, average viewers? Take a look at this. Isn't it a little bit shocking? This is one of the biggest gaps I have ever seen between critics and audiences. So, what happened? Are audiences blindly loving this, or do critics have a stick up their butt? Since I'm not a critic and I'm just your average viewer, I went and saw this movie and I have the answer for you coming up. Where the Crawdads Sing is actually quite an enjoyable film. Is it perfect? No. Does it deserve a 96? Maybe not. But it definitely doesn't deserve a 34%. I'd put it at about an 80. I have a serious issue with critics, and I think reading some of these reviews will highlight that issue nicely. My issue with critics, at least of the written word, is that they write very verbose and wordy reviews that never actually say anything or cite examples. Let's look at a few. Superficially pleasing to the eye, but never makes its hard Scrabble themes punch home convincingly? What the heck is hard Scrabble? A freaking game of Scrabble against this kid?
Iridocyclitis.
Wendy-eyed from The Observer says, like the backdrop, marsh or swamp, it's all a bit soggy. How the heck can a movie be soggy? What do you even mean? I'm not misrepresenting her review either. This is literally the last line of her review, yet she uses it in the title as if she's going to explain herself in that absurd analogy. Kevin Mayer says that Daisy Edgar Jones can't quite save this much hyped adaptation from an overdose of syrup and some deeply dubious subtext? Overdose of syrup? Are we in Canada? What the heck is going on? Why do I need a dictionary to read these reviews? Last one. Danny says that everything feels both fussy and perfunctory. So now the movie is a baby? It's fussy? And again, I have to look up perfunctory, and guess what it means? Carried out with minimal effort. And the intended definition of fussy he's using is showing excessive or anxious concern about detail. So how can it be keen to detail and yet act like it doesn't care about itself? It's contradictory, and the critic just wants to sound smart. That's my issue with critics. Each review they write consists of themselves patting themselves on the back for coming up with such great quippy lines or analogies. Every single one of these reviewers sounds like a failed writer, showboating their extensive vocabulary and snobbery when it comes to taste in film. What's worse is that critics tend to gang up and share the same opinions about things in order to still be in the elitist club. And that's why movies like this can be so horribly reviewed, is they're all just jumping on a bandwagon of hate, so they don't appear to be lesser for liking something that their peers deem to be subpar. By the way, this also happens the other way around, jumping to praise something that doesn't quite deserve it, but that's a video for another day. So, what does a normal moviegoer think about this movie? A person with an average vocabulary who likes to discuss movies in everyday conversation? I think this movie was really well done and well worth a watch. First thing to touch on is that, of course, it's really beautiful. It's filmed in a swamp and a marsh, and the style of cinematography was an excellent combo. There's a great mixture of close-ups and wides on nature with a fair dose of drone shots that really capture the beauty of the setting. Anyways, certain critics are acting like the setting lends itself to be a beautiful film, but that's just not true. It's shot in a very cinematic way with a lot of talent that shouldn't be so dismissed and passively written away. All the actors really brought their A game and embodied these characters. Daisy Edgar Jones did an amazing job and a believable job at being a quiet and shy person with like a majestic intelligence about her and a certain pure-heartedness. Her story was absolutely tragic, and she delivered on the emotional scenes. We can see her uneasiness when entering into relationships with people, and it causes us to be uneasy as well. We see her love and want to forgive, and it makes us want to do the same. The love interests in this movie do an excellent job as well at getting us to feel the emotion we're supposed to feel about them. We don't like Chase. We sense his ill motives, and we believe that Tate loves her sincerely and is actually sorry. This movie juggles a few themes quite well. There's a theme about being an outsider and getting judged, a theme about loneliness and abandonment, and a theme about nature and its tendency to endure against all odds. We see a lot of these themes come out and explored in great parallels and callbacks that I won't get specific about because of spoiler reasons. I thought the original soundtrack complemented the movie nicely, although it's not super memorable. I loved the non-linear storytelling of this movie. We start off in the present with the murder of Chase, and then we see Kaya grow up and we get her story. As the court case continues, we get to see the story of Kaya unfold, and it's a roller coaster of evidence that might incriminate unite her or sway the jury to her side. I would have liked more court drama, but what we got was really good, even if the courtroom reactions were a little exaggerated at times. The ending was an unexpected twist, as I never read the book, and I sort of had my jaw dropped during the final credits. It was the best way this movie could have ended to please the crowd and wrap up the themes of the story nicely. I can't speak to the quality of the adaptation because I haven't read the book, but I have heard from several people who have read it that it's a really faithful and well done adaptation, so there's that. But you guys, other than that, this movie might be a little slow at times, and maybe it doesn't lend itself to be that rewatchable of a film, but I think you should go and see it and show the critics that we don't care about their self-aggrandizing and condescending reviews. Alright you guys, did you see Where the Crawdads Sing, or did the reviews turn you away? Do you agree with me that this was a perfectly fine film and that it's undeserving of such a low rating? Or like the critics, do you think that it's a soggy, fussy, perfunctory overdose of syrup and dubious cinematic mush? If you liked Daisy Edgar Jones in this movie, then click that subscribe button and that bell and I will personally let her know. As always, Taylor, thanks for watching, and the rest of you, stay average.